town. I saw that the other night, had to laugh.
Hey, you're on.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen, November 7th. We started at 6:30 with a non-public with some of the DPW staff, and it brings us to 7 o'clock, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment.
My name is Helene Kirk, Mount Dearborn Road. I'm here tonight to share with you my disappointment in the resignation of Benji Knapp, our highway director. Here was someone who had 20 years of experience with our town, did a good job, had great connections, saved us money, and I just question whether the best interest in the town is being served by not working out something, whatever it was, to help Benji remain with the town of Weare. Deering is getting a huge, huge bonus.
New
And-
Boston.
New Boston.
Excuse me?
New Boston's where.
New Boston, I meant New Boston, thank you. So now,
And you're right.
in the last year, we have Karen upstairs who resigned, Jane in the clerk's office who resigned, Benji who resigned, a tax collector, which we still don't have, Joe at the highway department who retired, I believe, a truck driver that you're looking for because it's on your website, and I'm going a little bit off the track here, but a food pantry that's open one day a month. And I'm wondering, maybe you have another system that no one is aware of, but people have said to me once a month makes it pretty hard for people who are really hurting. And I know you're all good people. I'm sure your heart is in the right place, but I wonder if you have perhaps some other things going on that you're not sharing with the public. I mean, I get your minutes, but sometimes I don't get them for quite a while. It takes a long while to get there. Whether really you're serving the town in the best interest. Now, you can talk to me and say, it's all about the default budget. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And most of the people in town kind of hear things or don't care to hear things. They're busy with their lives. But you have a great responsibility to the 9,000 people that live here. And I really question whether what you're doing in having so many openings. Now, you can say, well, give it all to Naomi. Let Naomi take care of it. She's only one person. I mean, maybe that's why minutes can't get done. The woman everything's being dumped on her. And I've sat on your side of the table. I know it's not an easy thing, but I find this is unconscionable. And losing Benji, I know that you have 3 other guys who you've divided the work up so that they take it, but none of them have the memory, the historic memory, or the state connections, and all those things. I don't know how hard you work to keep him. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Neil Kirk, Mount Dearborn Road. I share Helene's concerns. one of the facts of life is that when you folks have a default budget or a regular budget, there's a huge amount of money that's available to you from vacant positions, which are funded in the default budget but are unfilled, and that money is available to the board to use in a default budget to take care of inflation and other kinds of things. So the town isn't hurting for money. There are so many vacant positions, and all of that money is available to be shifted around in the budget to deal with whatever expenses there are. I'd like to be a little bit more direct than Helene was with respect to these people who left. Karen left because of personality and other differences. Jane left because you guys were too cheap, my word, too cheap to give her a couple of bucks more and save 11 years' worth of excellent experience. I don't know the reasons why Benji left. There are all sorts of rumors floating around. But for a guy who engineered a multi-million-dollar road reconstruction program, who has done more for the town's roads over the years, to let this guy go because either of money or because there were some management issues which could have been worked out is, to use Helene's word, unconscionable. You are not serving the town well, and these vacancies cannot go on. I know it's a very difficult time to hire people, which makes it even more shameful that you let these folks go. Certainly Benji and Jane recently. The other point to be made is that as managers of the town, you really need to be looking at succession planning. Who's going to succeed people in these various positions? For example, in the highway department, is there some sort of pecking order so that folks will be moving up, so that even if Benji were here, at some point he's going to retire? Who's going to take his place? Who's going to take Naomi's place? What kind of planning is going on? That's important for the town. It's big enough so that we need to be thinking about these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Any other public comment? Mikey, do you want to speak?
All right, Mike Eldridge, here addressing the board as a concerned citizen. With that, I will say the leaving of Director Knapp that leaves me in a very impossible place. I mean, Benji has been with us for almost 20 years now, and he has kept these roads safe, and he has kept them passable so that police cars could get out, fire could get out, ambulance could get out. He did what we needed him to do, and we lost Benji. And why did we lose Benji? That's the question I ask to the board tonight. Why did we lose Benji? Was it because we pushed Benji too far in a direction Benji didn't want to go? Or was it because we didn't offer him more money? I don't think it wasn't because we didn't offer him more money. I think if people would have just simmered down and let Benji run what he was running the whole entire time he was running it for those 20 years, he never would have walked away. So with the upcoming snow plowing season coming up, do we have a plan in place to compensate for Benji's leaving, or?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Thank you.
To answer that directive question, yes.
Yeah. Mike, just so you know, public comment, we usually don't respond back. We listen to what you have to say, then if we enter into a discussion, and then we'll respond to it at a later time, but you know.
That was a
people-
directive question.
Yeah. But just to let you know, I don't know if you, I haven't seen you make public comment before.
No,
But
never
just-
have.
Yeah, but just don't be surprised if you don't hear us talk back to your questions that you're articulating during your discussion.
Well, Chairman Hippler responded, and I respect that.
To a
And,
direct question.
and there's nothing, no animosity between me or anyone on this board.
No, of course.
I love Benji, but I like all you guys. I respect all you. I respect everyone on this board.
Appreciate it.
With that, Chairman, I don't think there's much else left for me to say, other than, you know, make sure when we make decisions, they are the decisions of the board, and those get reiterated correctly.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Anybody else for public comment? No? Okay. We'll move on. Two department head committee items brings us to the 2023 DPW budgets and 2023 default budget. Recognize Beth.
Before I start the budget process, I need you, the Board of Selectmen, to estimate the tax for gas, the cost of gas per gallon for next year. So while I set up,
Yeah. Really?
Just that little thing,
yeah, they enjoy doing it, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have where we're currently at? Which is probably a joke.
So before I go to that screen, the energy outlook for next year is 3.57 per gallon of gasoline, and that's retail. Diesel, they're estimating $4.29 a gallon for diesel. And just, there's about 82.7 cents of tax that we would subtract because we're exempt. So do you want to know usage?
So as we sit right now, diesel is anywhere between $5.49 and $6.09 a gallon taxed.
Right, so still take off that 82 cents and you're still around the $5 number,
Right.
And
Last time we bought diesel, we paid $4.93.
which is right around that 5 number.
Yeah,
And
the last-
gasoline right now, with taxed, is between $3.29 and $4.09.
Okay, we paid $3.83 last time we bought unleaded.
But through the summer, you can see we're up to 487 for gas.
Yeah.
And we
581.
hit a 581 in the
May.
diesel.
Hopefully they don't ration it. I heard they were gonna ration it.
Were they? Diesel?
Have we had any luck yet with the state and the key fob, or the gas pump fobs?
No, I have not. I sent Brian an email last week and another one this week, and I have not heard back.
They're gonna drag their feet on that.
I would.
Probably
If
till
it's
their
part of a chip world,
Yeah.
probably,
sure.
probably till their next renewal of their
They're not
contract.
gonna let anybody else
No.
on.
No, you watch as soon as the new one comes through.
Oh, yeah, it'll show up that following day.
Right. Beth, do you have our total gallons of the bomb for all departments? I just see that there's more, obviously.
Yep, so what we have is police for unleaded, 7,065 gallons, fires, 891, building department is 374, and John Stark uses 893.
So are the town aware is paying for John Stark?
What we do is we do buy it, they reimburse us,
Okay, that's what I
because they
needed to
do
hear.
bring their truck to the
Are
pumps.
they reimbursing us at what rate?
Our rate,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
So that's just passed
So
through?
that washes itself
That's
out.
passed through?
Yes,
Okay.
but we just have to upfront the cost.
Yep.
And then for the diesel, fire uses about 2,717, transfer about 914, which leaves the balance of 29 to highway. And on the other side, 2,700 for highway. So it's all over the place. From March, starts going up, then it comes down a little bit, then it goes back up a little bit.
You don't know what the
I'm
average
gonna-
was, do you? The-
Yep, the average price, well, it depends on who's using it. So for fire, based on, theirs is 372 for unleaded and 426 for diesel,
And then
because they might have more.
police probably uses more volume of gas, so
Yep, they're also 372 for unleaded.
They're 426.
That is transfer stations.
Right.
Diesel.
Is highway on here?
The top?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
highway is just, I just have because they buy it.
Oh, okay.
I do have that report if you want to see that one.
Don't have to.
All right.
Is it town truck gas or diesel?
Is what?
The pickup.
That's gas.
It is.
Yeah, so the building department right here.
I've heard nothing, but maybe it's just hearsay, but
It's going up.
it's gonna go up. This is a motion, right? Do we have to make this? I'm
Oh,
gonna
but-
move that
yeah.
we put the gasoline price at $5 a gallon and diesel price at $7 a gallon for the upcoming year, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. It's not going down. I understand we have 82 cents of tax taken off, but this year we missed the mark, let's be real. And there's so much uncertainty. I don't think that the town paying over $6 a gallon is unreal, especially as we come into the winter months. I've talked to a few of my friends that are in the fuel business. A certain large vendor for the area ran out at their distribution yard of a product. So I think it's real. So I'm gonna run with those numbers with my motion. I have a motion that's been moved and seconded. I'm gonna call a vote. All in favor? Yes?
Yes.
All opposed? Abstentions?
Yeah,
I'm still thinking.
I'll have to abstain, Ricky, just because I'm not.
Okay.
Can you repeat the motion based on?
Motion was $5 a gallon
For
for
gas.
gasoline,
Okay,
and
and
7 for diesel. I understand the numbers are high, but I think it's, where were we at last year?
3 1/4.
3 and a quarter for diesel?
That's what you guys proposed.
Right, and I understand it's 82 cents less, but we missed the mark, and we missed it by a long shot.
Yeah.
yeah,
Big time.
I'm not looking to cash in, I'll say, but I think
Yeah, we don't make any money off of this.
I think it's a realistic thought. I mean, even if we brought the diesel down a little bit, but I still see it going over 6 for the town.
yeah.
It's already over 6 at the stations. And Caro's at 740 and change. So,
Have we got anything back from the state yet?
that's what
No.
That's
we
what John just asked.
Yeah, yes.
Nothing. I bet they're waiting for their renewal.
I'm not so sure they're waiting for it. I'm sure it's like, they're the little, like the fobs have a chip in them. So when the chips are out,
Some places
they don't have
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
If they can't get them.
But we can't rely on that, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but I think it's realistic. We just don't do that. I mean-
I'd rather be high than like we were this year.
Yeah, way under. So it failed, but we didn't hear from, well, we haven't heard from the other end of the counter yet.
I didn't realize diesel was $6. I just got diesel Saturday. It was $5.09, I think.
Yeah, at some of the truck stops it's higher. Yeah, I'm sure there's convenience factor put in there too, but,
I think gas is high, I think diesel's low. I think I was thinking $4.50 for gas and $7.58 for diesel.
So, but at that point, they wash out 5 and 7.
Wash, yeah.
Different budgets, though.
Yeah.
Police isn't gonna have a diesel budget.
Well,
They're
you're gonna
be-
buy more gallons of diesel.
A
Right,
lot more.
okay,
So in that case, I'd say no on your motion.
okay. Sherry, your vote?
John, are you at 5
Well,
and
if you
7?
think it's
Is that
6
what
already.
John said 5 and 7?
No, John said he was at 450 and 750.
$4.50 and $7.50.
Yeah. So he was a no to my motion.
Well, if you're seeing it at 6 already, I think diesel should be more than 7, because I think it's probably gonna continue to go.
All right.
So,
And I hate to say it, but a lot's also gonna depend on what happens tomorrow night, too.
Oh, yes, but
That's what, I'd love to be able to have this discussion tomorrow.
I think
but
we,
we can't.
I think we've been in this place before. I think I remember,
have last-
I remember these words being spoken.
years.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wish we could wait a couple days. So,
Because I think tomorrow's outcome could potentially change
right,
this.
all right. If you're thinking higher or lower, it's, but,
I've said my number.
yep, and
What'd you
I
say?
know you said you were a no vote for the motion that's on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm at 5 and 750, so we're close, we're all close.
Right,
Yeah.
so, do you want to say nay to that and remove it, Sherry? Nay to the 5 and the 7 and remove another motion?
yeah, I'll
All right.
make a motion that we,
Well, so your vote for mine is no, though?
right.
Okay, all right. Naomi, did you get that?
Long fashion,
It's
yeah.
a 2 yes, 2 no, and an
2, 2,
abstention.
1 no.
So, it's a fail.
2, 2, 1 failed.
All right, so I'll entertain another motion for another number.
Make a motion, we set the gasoline rate at $4.50 a gallon and the diesel rate at $7.50 a gallon.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Wish I could say it. I hope not, but
I'm,
I don't know.
I'm not.
Yes, it's because we don't know. We
It's,
don't have
it's
enough.
honestly, it's a best guess. And it's,
Screwed ourselves last year.
exactly, we sold ourselves extremely short, last year.
We sure did.
And I think that I was one to say that we were gonna be short. And I don't wanna be way in the plus, but I don't wanna be in the minus either, this year. I remember one of the first years I was on the board, the board estimated high, and there was a substantial amount that went back, so,
Well, it's gonna go back, so I'd rather go high than
yeah,
go low and then not have enough to cover it.
right,
If we don't spend it, it goes back to the taxpayers.
right. Or it's able to be used to go back to taxpayers at least,
Right.
so. All right, this motion made, it's been seconded. I'm gonna call a vote. All those in favor of 450 for gas and 750 for diesel signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Yeah, opposed. Abstentions. I didn't hear 2 votes.
Yeah, I know it, Ricky, sorry. I think the gas is, the gas is a little low, and I'm okay with the diesel, but I think you could see $5 easily a gallon on fuel,
On gas.
yeah. But it's, I mean, it's a budget number, but I think the petrol's low.
So your vote is at the current time?
Is no. I'm at 5 and 750 right now.
Okay. Sherry, your vote?
No.
Okay. Passes 3-2.
I hope we're all wrong. I hope it's a lot lower.
I hope we're all wrong, absolutely. I really do.
All right, but then these are gonna be wrong.
So why'd we go through all that then, if we were gonna be wrong anyway?
Yeah, if you were gonna
could've
put it in
waited.
wrong,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Thanks, Beth.
Okay, so this is the budget that Benji proposed prior to leaving. He was fortunate enough to do this for us.
And just for, so everybody knows, we have Lee Weatherby, Jason Fisk, and Matt McLean here. They are the three that are going to be at the helm down at the DPW moving forward. Interim until we can hire somebody, but just fair to acknowledge them and appreciate their being here.
All right, so when you start looking at this, we're gonna skip right to line 415. Underneath the dark black line. Everything above the dark black line is payroll, and that will be discussed on another evening. That department heads don't have anything to say to that.
Okay.
They're not proposing any changes in this department. Okay, so with the telephone, there's gonna be a $200 decrease from the default budget, and that's based on the actual costs that, the expenses so far for telephone. For line 416, highway repairs to the building, he proposed an increase of $2,500 because there's been added expense for the floor drain and to do a furnace cleaning annually. So he proposes an increase of $2,500 to building maintenance. There's going to be no change to life insurance, sorry, that's below the line. Meetings and seminars, no change to that line. If you notice in column, I guess 4, the 2022 expenses as of October 31st, there's only been $85 spent so far this year, and that's because Benji was hosting classes so that Weare employees were free. Okay. Just so if you're questioning why the expense is so low. For advertising, I lowered it to $350, or we did, based on, because $350 is adequate funding for that line. We've never spent over that. Cleaning services, that's a contract that the board entered into. We're on year 2 of 3. Unfortunately, we had a default budget, so the contract was not approved, so there's an increase there. Oxygen cylinder, there's a small increase of $200 based on cost increase. Proposing no change to the radio maintenance contract. No change to office supplies. Decrease in postage because honestly, $50 is adequate funding for postage. The inspection machine equipment, we had to increase that by $1,280 because the internet for that machine costs $168 a month. The actual administration for the machine is $40, and the phone line that it runs through is $50 a month. So the actual cost of that is $3,100 a year. Vehicle fuel, you guys just changed it from a proposal of $115,375 to $264,750. So that is going to be $173,250 higher than default. There's no change in safety medical gear. There's going to be no change in the boot allowance. That's per the personnel policy. There's 14 employees at $250 per employee. There's a slight increase for the drug and alcohol testing. We've averaged about $1,600 over the last 3 years. No change to the cutting edges. There's an increase to the fuel additives and testing because it's $1,800 for the inspections, and then the cost of fuel additives were Blue Death. No increase to tires and chains. An increase in oils and lubricants because the older trucks are blowing lines, leak, and there's a cost increase to the oil and lubricants. Signs, posts, and rails, he proposed reducing it by $1,200 because he would like a new line just for guardrails, because currently guardrails is coming out of road reconstruction. It really isn't a road reconstruction expense unless the road itself is being reconstructed, but the guardrails around town, not on a road reconstruction job, should be have its own line. Shouldn't come out of road reconstruction. Shop supplies, we're just averaging about $20,000 a year in that line for the last 3 years. Chainsaw supplies, no increase there. Communications equipment, if you want to continue that weather precision forecasting service that he proposed last year that he used, that's $14.95 annually. Gravel road maintenance. This one, we got the price just a couple weeks ago. It's $577.15 a sack. There's 22 sacks per trailer, and it costs $2,100 to ship it from New Jersey. So $14,797 was the quote we received. Cold patch, reducing that line by $4,700 because the road bond allowed for the shims and overlay, so not much cold patching being done. Vehicle equipment and repair, kept it at $85,000. You can see what we expensed so far this year is quite low. That's because the in-house mechanic has saved us a lot of money without having to send the trucks out. Salt and sand, that we knew was going to be extremely high, $78,000 increase. So the state bid price currently is $79.22 per ton, and we need 3,000 tons. Tree removal, no increase in the budget. You'll see that there, none was expensed. That was something he opted not to do to offset because of the default. Roadside mowing, again, they're proposing to reduce it to $1,000 because we no need to rent one. We do not need to rent one any longer.
I have a question about that one, and I don't know if now's the right time to ask this, Rick, but I thought the roadside mower was dead.
You have them in the room.
It's waiting for it.
It's currently dead because it's waiting for parts, right?
Are parts available for it?
Yeah, that's the other question.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah.
So it's dead, but can it be resurrected, in your opinion?
How much money do you want to spend?
It's all about money.
$1,000.
So it doesn't,
That's not enough.
What exactly is wrong with
Yeah,
it?
what's wrong with it?
Can one of you,
Yeah, if you come
Sorry.
up to the microphone, just, yeah,
you just hear a lot of mumbling if not.
yeah.
Welcome to the hot seat.
Well, I believe the rings are blown out,
Okay.
so.
On
it's-
the engine?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a sleeve motor,
Oh,
so you're looking at
Yeah.
a long block or a short block.
doesn't want to run.
It runs.
What kind of tractor?
There's-
What-
Better have a catch can under it?
There's significant blow-by,
Okay,
that's for sure.
all right, so it's plain wore out. Motor is,
Motor's wore out.
okay,
What kind of motor is it?
Ford.
yeah, it's a Ford tractor.
Great.
Just shooting off the hip, my ideal thing, we got that 3-point mower, so in the future, whether we fix this tractor or not, ease of replacement's pretty decent, because all we have to do is buy a
Unclip it,
machine.
yeah.
We have the mower already.
Okay.
And it can swap over.
Okay. How many horsepower is that roughly, you think? 60?
70, 75.
I could say 75, okay, all right.
Yeah, that mower needs minimum 70 to run.
Okay, that's what my
Is
question
that
was.
PTO or
Put
hydraulic?
it right by his
That
shoulder.
mower?
I'm like, oh,
It is
Yeah.
PTO?
And
Yeah.
hydraulic.
Okay.
so
The
mid,
PTO runs the pump on
Yep.
the 3-point mower that
Okay.
actually turns the head, and then
Yep.
the hydraulics control the arm.
Okay.
Okay,
so it's a midpoint PTO on the tractor? Is it-
It's rear.
It's rear,
Yeah, yeah.
rear PTO.
Yeah.
so any old tractor will work.
Yeah, yeah.
That's 70 horsepower or more.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. So in the future, when we ever want to replace a mower, it's
But you could swap it onto any
it's
3-point
relatively
hitch.
simple. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just transfer
As
the
long as the
controls
track-
and, yeah.
I mean, we spec the tractor out 70 horsepower, rear hydraulics.
Right. Okay, so,
Does it need 2 rear remotes or 4?
Ideally, 4.
so with that now known, do you think it's in the best interest to get rid of that mowing line?
I mean, it all depends on what direction we're gonna go in, whether you
Contract.
think we can get a mower, a tractor, to get voted on, to get replace that one,
Yeah,
or to repair the one we have.
okay.
See, that's a discussion for another time.
I think it is too. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, while Jason was speaking, I noticed that I skipped a couple lines, and one of them was quite large. Line 438, this is a one-time purchase line. It was $75,000, and it's for tools for the highway garage. We put it in a one-time purchase because we're kind of hoping that usually the Board of Selectmen asks if there's any way we can reduce next year's budget with surplus, and we were kind of hoping that one could be
Okay.
backed right out.
And that's, we are in discussions about that.
Yes, so it's just a placeholder.
Yep.
So after the roadside mowing, there's the uniform. We're in year 3 of the 3-year contract, so that was reduced. Cell phone, we reduced it to $520 because it averages $43.10 a month. And then knotweed control, there was a plan for the knotweed control. Unfortunately, since the plan's been put in place, we've only received default budgets. So again, the cost for the knotweed control plan is $7,500. So with the change, the proposals that the past director made, along with the proposals you guys made this evening, the operating expenses, not including payroll, is an increase of $361,490.
Which is a difference of,
I didn't figure that one out yet.
I see it was blank on our screen up there.
Yeah, while you guys were talking.
Is this the first time you guys are seeing this?
yes.
Okay, all right. Suggestions, comments, questions? Take a day to digest? Day or 3 to digest? Okay,
Definitely talk about that more.
okay, yeah, okay,
We've already been in discussions with the tools, so.
okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, can we talk about the mower maybe next meeting?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, any comments you have on any of these line
Yeah,
items?
yeah, please let us know. Myself, I think the cold patch is a little bit low. I think we're still gonna be cold patching roads,
Yes, so do I.
but
A lot of them are in pretty good shape.
a lot of them are in good shape, yeah. I don't know if $300 is gonna cover the whole show. That might get you one ton load, maybe.
Concerned about the oils and, line 434, oils and lubricants.
Yep.
My other job, oil's almost doubled in cost alone. I'm not sure
We're not
an
far.
additional 5 is gonna be enough.
You're probably not wrong. I
'Cause
mean, they're already at 15.
A 5-gallon pail of oil used to cost, round numbers, $40, $50, and we're pushing 90 right now for the brand I work for.
Yeah.
Put up to 20.
Where does Highway get their oils from? Do they get it bulk delivered, or do they buy it by the pail or the barrel?
Yep.
Come on up.
You could.
We get it through a couple different vendors, engine oil,
Mm-hmm.
we get Texas refineries,
Okay.
gear oil, Texas refineries. We get hydraulic oil through, Royco.
So we don't have bulk tanks, bulk,
I put in a 300-gallon hydraulic bulk tank.
okay.
And we get 55-gallon oil in the small kegs of,
Year loop.
Okay, and you just transfer them.
yeah, we have. Grease comes from Royco and Texas refineries, whoever's got a better deal.
Got the deal.
essentially.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I don't disagree, John.
Hey, maybe 5,000 is gonna be enough. I mean,
Yeah.
again, our crystal ball will be evident tomorrow, but,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But even then, even after tomorrow, it's not gonna,
not gonna be an instant change.
it's not gonna be an instant change, nor is it gonna be, again, we may not see it for months, so.
Yes.
You're also gonna have another look over.
Right, and I think that, I'm just gonna put a broad statement out there, I think this year of all years, with record inflation and everything else, I think the board really needs to scrutinize these budgets more than we ever have. I really do. And really put in where we need to and think about where we're going. I mean, this budget alone's up, you figured it out, I'm sure, 60 what %?
Close, 76.
Sounds close, so. I mean, 80,000, that's just in salt,
And fuel for us, that we just did.
Right, but again, we really underestimated the mark. I mean, just in fuel alone, we're close to, expenses as of, through budget. We're already over the fuel line, and we're not even in the winter months yet.
Yep.
Well, you also know that when Benji was here the last time, what we have in the budget is based on, what, $49.50 a ton for salt?
Right,
Because we're dealing with 3 years ago's numbers.
right, 49.50.
We still have
and
to
we're up
buy it.
78,
79.
79,
So,
excuse
I
me.
mean, just like fuel, you're running on
Yeah.
3 years ago's numbers at probably $2,
Right, exactly,
you
so,
know? Has to be looked at.
yeah. I mean, we're almost, I mean, just between 2020 and expense as of the end of November on fuel alone is almost $40,000 difference. So,
Naomi's asked a couple times, the uniforms, I know it's a small line item, but how often do they get used?
every day,
I wear the pants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jason wears his, I'm sure, crawling around under
Yeah.
there.
Well, wait a second, Rick, I'm trying to find out. Yeah, because a lot of times I mean, you guys are dressed in what you like wearing, right? Not the uniform wear. So is it 50% or 60% used, Steve?
Go 75.
Yeah, okay, close enough.
Yeah, because dungarees are part of their uniforms.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just a question that's come up, I wanted clarification on.
Any other questions on the highway department?
Not right now.
Not at the moment. Okay. Let's move on to the transfer station.
Okay, before we get there, just the street lights,
Oh, streetlights,
Yeah.
excuse me.
that's going down by $900.
You don't say. Well, we'll take
That's
it.
based on usage.
We'll take
Okay.
it.
So transfer station, if we skip to line 470, which is after the payroll items. Telephone, increased it by $24 just because it's estimating about $42 a month. Internet, same thing, it's averaging $62 a month, so we increased that by $24 as well. No change in the building maintenance. Training, we reduced that by $100, because $400 has never been spent in the last 3 years for training. Advertising, again, reduced it to $60, it would be adequate funding. Printing,
Beth, can I back up? On the building maintenance, so we redid the office this year, right?
yep,
But that was from encumbered money, right?
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool, go ahead.
Okay, your question was regarding the expenses?
Yep, your answer,
Okay,
thank you.
so the building maintenance is just maintenance. Printing, we reduced that to $100 because the stickers were purchased in 2022. The NRA dues increased to $683. Okay, for the hauling of the trash, the contract was just approved. So the calculation came at 108 trips a year, 325 trips, and that's down from 130 in 2021 due to the bulky items going into the demo trailer. The gentlemen at the transfer station are able to pack the trailers a lot better, and they're going out heavier, so that means less trips. The recyclable disposal, that was reduced from $8,000 down to $3,300. Snitcher does now require a $10 per ton facility fee, times 330 tons, is $3,300. Wheelabrator, we calculated at 212 tons a month at $75.45 a ton. Again, that has been underfunded for many years now because of the default budget. Glass crushing kept it the same at $7,500 for the year. Hauling metals, calculated 58 trips at the new rate of $325 per trip, so that came out to $18,850. The cost increase to the baler wire of $700. The hauling of loose paper calculated 9 trips at the contract price of $575 each. Shop supplies left it alone at $250. The fuel surcharge and the weight, we have to increase that drastically. The fuel surcharge, calculating, it's gonna be probably about $1,169, and then the wait time has been killing us this year, $4,680 just for wait time. Office supplies, a small increase, because we need ink and paper for the printer, register receipt. And I didn't do the gas, but I'll get back to that in a minute. Safety medical gear, no change, $340 just in case. Boot allowance, no change per the personnel manual, 2 employees at $250 a pair. Uniform, again, that's the contract that expires next December. Small decrease there. Monitoring wells, no change on that. Tires for the trailers. For that one, there was an increase of 30% for the cost of tires, so we increased that line by $1,700. But we offset the vehicle equipment maintenance line by that amount. There was no change in the signpost and rails. And then the hazardous waste day, $7,000, that's the actual. That's a low cost, but we'll try to get one in 2023, hopefully. So for the operating budget on the transfer station, it's an increase of $32,625.
Well,
Yeah, I gotta go do the gas,
Yeah,
or the
fuel.
diesel.
Fuel, well,
Any questions on the transfer station? Because Matt's here.
I don't. Anybody else?
So
I'm
Matt,
wondering if the fuel surcharge weight, line 486, is there anything we can do with that in terms of maybe be more proactive from a scheduling standpoint when we schedule them to haul? It's just luck of the draw, who's at Wheelabrator at the time and who the operators are and all that?
Depends where you ship stuff to.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
There's nothing we can do to be proactive in scheduling on that?
Buy your own truck.
Okay. Thank you.
That's in the horizon.
Matt, line item 492, the monitoring wells,
That's for the,
describe, yeah, I know what they're for, but just describe to me, do we call those in? Is that the state monitoring them?
Yeah, the state comes in, I don't know if we schedule it or they show up, but guys in a white truck come in and walk up the landfill and check the wells.
Yeah, just the 2021 to 2022 expensed.
yeah, well, they probably come a couple times a year, I'm sure.
Right, but here we are at the end
I
of the
think,
year.
well, I think they have one more quarter they have to come.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That, it's not expended 100%.
It's not done,
yet.
it's only through 10/31.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they got one more time, come visit, which would be close to,
So we,
pretty close to that 4,500 bucks, whatever it was there.
okay. And then on the hazmat day, have they ever, I know that Henniker, a few of the towns combine their hazmat day. Have we ever been approached with that option? Yeah, come up to the thing, Matt, thanks.
It's been discussed a few times. Dunbarton was one of them. It's an option. It's still hard to get anybody even on the phone. Clean Harbors. I've been looking around for different, there's nobody really out there.
I think the last time we scheduled, we were almost a year
They
out
were
to
a
get.
year ahead, and
Yeah.
it was still October
Yeah,
before they
it-
would come.
Right, yeah, I remember
Dunbar just
that.
did theirs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not a good option, but a midweek might be an option.
Yeah,
Because the first ones to go are Saturdays. And
right,
Yeah,
I know nobody wants a Wednesday hazmat day, but it might be a way to do something just so that we have
to
something.
get somebody here.
Right.
Okay,
Because
Yeah.
you don't want to go 3 years without doing it.
right.
And if we can't get someone for next year, then that's what it'll be.
so to get around that, what they did was Henniker was hosting it with Bradford, Henniker, Is that something we could inquire about for maybe next year? Is
You
get,
could, but still a matter of getting a hold of someone to come down, because
yeah, but they did it again this year too, but they're doing it because they somehow or another, but I'm wondering if we can kind of ride their shirt tails, like just get on a list, pay a flat fee of $3,000 or something, and that would send the people up to Henniker that day.
you could check and see if, yeah, if they'll
But would that be?
allow it. I don't know if they have certain limits on how much they can do in a day.
Yeah,
Because I know if like it's Henniker and Bradford and,
How much foot traffic they can actually handle.
right, I mean, I know that's.
Never mind the monetary side of it.
That's over 10,000 people right there, just those two
Yeah.
towns.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That might be a little excessive.
Yeah.
But possibly, like John said, at Dunbarton, maybe,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we should look into.
yeah.
Because
Especially-
that'll help also offset the setup costs, because that alone is $4,000, just to come out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's why we stopped doing two of them, because that was the whole budget right there.
Yeah, to have all the suits and
Yeah.
the containment stuff and the truck and, yeah,
Okay,
sure it's expensive, so.
anyway, might quiz you about that. I'll ask Leo up there how they work that out.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you. All right, anything else? A transfer station? Okay.
Well, I do actually.
What?
We haven't crushed glass in a few years, have we?
We just did,
We did?
like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, cool. Just the bill hasn't gotten here yet,
That's it.
okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Sewer,
sewer.
water.
So if you just want to do below payroll, because I do not know the future of the sewer department, but telephone, it averages $42 a month, so we had to increase it to $504.
Now, is that's for the alarm call-outs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The electricity, that's been underfunded for over 3 years now. They're averaging $400 a month, so it needs to be increased to $4,800. The propane for the generator, never had to need it in the last few years, but better safe than sorry. To pump the tank, there's an increase to $2,500. Decrease in the training, down to $170, because that's the actual cost of the class. Mowing, increase that to $800, because that's what it's costing us to mow the leach field. Supplies, just reduce that to help offset the increases in the other lines. No change in the equipment, no change in the equipment repair. That is to repair a pump if it fails. And then the actual monitoring of the alarm. So there's an increase to the operating by $2,859. Mostly due
This
to
is
the
gonna have to have more
electricity.
conversation though,
Yeah.
just
Depending on the
because
future.
the one person that had reached out and went over things with Benji is a resident,
Yep.
but he also works for another town,
Right.
full-time.
Right.
So for him to be a sub to us, if you require him to have insurance,
Yeah.
he's a guy with a license that works for another community.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to have that discussion, what we're
Okay.
gonna do.
Yeah, I was hoping we were gonna have that sooner than later, that conversation, so. All right, and then water
And
treatment.
water, it is what it is. The actual cost for the water training, 3-year average on the water testing, reduced the services and the equipment repair.
And I
Those
guess,
just come out of building maintenance when there's an issue.
in water testing, I was told by the gentleman that went over everything with Benji that we're good till January.
Okay. And what do we do in January?
I'd say drop back 5 and punt, but that wouldn't be the right thing. No, we have to figure out what we gotta do,
Okay,
between now and then anyway. You
Okay.
gotta have somebody
okay,
that we can call, somebody that, but his concern being, he's an employee of another town. Yes,
Right.
he does have the license,
yeah,
But he's not
but if
insured.
we are looking to have him be our vendor,
yeah,
he would have to get himself insurance, which would cost us a fortune.
fortune,
probably.
right,
So we need to have that discussion
that's fine,
a little bit more.
that's fine. Okay,
Any other questions on DPW's budget?
anything? No? Like I said, this is first view, obviously, so you guys got any questions, comments, If Beth can't head it off and answer it, then email us and we'll try and figure it out with you guys. Does the board have any comments, questions, concerns, other than inflation? Okay.
Now we're gonna jump right into the default budget.
Yay. Yeah. Tom, if you want to take off, you're more than welcome. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
If you want to extend that same offer to me, I can.
No, I'm not extending that offer to you.
No?
No.
All right.
Okay, so what you're looking at is, the first page is obviously the summary, it's much easier to review. The 2002 approved budget from the voters was so if you look down below, when they voted at the booth, and they voted for a default budget, they voted for $7,227,983. They also voted for raises for non-union employees, which raised that by $62,377. They also voted yes for a library pay increase for the staff. That increased that budget by $6,047. They also voted yes to pay increase for the staff of the parks, which increased at $3,064. They voted yes for 2 additional full-time employees of the fire department, but that had an offset, so it was a 0 impact. And then they also voted for capital area mutual aid fire compact. That had a higher number, but it had an offset, so the field home was $9,908
For the 2022 year.
for the 2022. So after they voted, our budget became $7,309,379 approved. So then if you look, the arrow brings that up to the 2023. So that's where we start, is what they approved. So the raises for the non-union employees, that was only for 9 months. So when you add in a whole year, 12 months of the raises, it was an additional $20,792. Same calculation for the library. That was only budgeted for 9 months, so a full year is an additional $2,013. The additional 2 full-time firefighters was $89,597. And for the fire capital area mutual aid fire compact, an additional $74,329. These are all in the warrant articles that state an additional, this will be part of the annual budget next year. So after all that, we have a budget of $7,496,110 going forward. However, the state mandated New Hampshire retirement system contributions decreased. So there was a deduction of $28,836 this year. There was a decrease in our debt service on our principal and our interest for our 2 bonds that are still outstanding. So that was a reduction of $18,481. Unfortunately, our health insurance premiums increased by 10% for 2023, so there's an increase of $38,252. There's a decrease in the fire budget due to hires of $21,109, and then there's a decrease in the fire due to the capital area management area, fire compact of $29,562. So your default budget is going to be $7,436,374. Any questions on how those numbers came to be? And the details are obviously,
And it matches the back sheet.
well, hopefully, I didn't check, but thank heavens. So that's where your
Ta-da,
default
look at
came
that.
from, and the detail is in the next 10 pages.
In the next 10 pages.
In the next 10 pages. Get used to 10 pages.
Okay, yeah, 'cause this is the entire default budget, okay.
Yep. Most of the, obviously, increases and decreases
Yeah.
are what I just went over. So overall, the budget went up 1.74%.
Because of warrant articles
Yes.
and contracts, well, obligations, I should say. Does the board have any questions on how this number was derived? How we got to it, where we're at?
Again, you know, you're gonna see, the next time we meet, you're gonna see different budgets, and you're gonna have to,
Yeah,
Kevin's word is noodle. You have to think about it. And
Yeah.
look at it again, and then when we throw it all together, you'll see a complete package. But it gives you time to look at what's being presented, which we realize is quick. But at the same time, next week, the next time we meet, you're gonna see fire and you're gonna see library.
right.
And then the next time you meet, 2 weeks later, you're gonna see the police and the smaller departments. So, you know, if you can just kinda let us know if you have any questions, instead of waiting till we wade through 43 pages one night. That would be the handiest for us. Rick?
Yep. And the good news is, according to the voters in March, our default would have been 7,496,000, but it was reduced by that 59,000, so we're actually coming in better than what we expected to at the polls, because it decreases. So again, I know that's a lot of information tonight, so, like Naomi said, you'll see it again. So when the department heads visit with you, they're gonna do proposed versus default.
Right,
So get
These
used
are
to seeing the
defaults.
default.
right.
Any questions on that?
When we set the fuel, that becomes a proposed number.
Correct.
No, the default number till
Yep.
passes. Yep.
Yep, it's fine, understood.
And Beth, the increase in the health insurance premiums, is that because we had a lot of stuff going in, or is this across the board for
I think it's across. the
all
board.
all towns?
Our group went up 10%, we're a large group now. I'm sure other communities as well.
Okay. Yeah, just
We
curious.
used to be small, but now that we've got the fire on board full-time, so
That added
we
8.
bumped it up
Yeah.
to the number, and
We
so
were-
now we're in the large group pool.
Yeah,
But we are in the pool with Health Trust with other towns.
yeah.
And 10% isn't as bad as what we were expecting. We were expecting about 12 to 13.
Oh.
So when we got the 10%, it was actually better, but not great,
Still not great, no.
not great.
Okay. Any questions for Beth? On the default budget?
No.
All right,
Okay.
lastly,
Lastly,
What everybody's been waiting for is the tax rate.
Louis. Thank you.
Oh, I already have one, you gave me one, unless it's
Yeah.
changed.
This one.
She gave it to you, bottom side up for a reason.
Ah! I was looking at the back. Oh, she's crafty.
so on the side that says 2022 proposed warrant article with appropriation, it just has all the warrant articles that were on the ballot, mentioned if they passed or failed and what the tax impact of that warrant article resulted in. So all of the warrant articles resulted in a $3.16 tax rate. And then we have to add in the veterans credits that the town pays for and overlay. So total tax effort for the town is gonna be $3.34. And then when you flip it over, you can see last year, the town's portion was $3.04. So we did go up 30 cents. So just to go through this a little bit, our 2021 fund balance, up at the top left, when we ended the year, it was $1,981,232. The voters voted to use $260,000 of that to buy a 10-wheel dump truck, which resulted in our available fund balance of $1,721,232. I know there's a lot of information on this page.
You say that last part again.
The what?
The fund balance.
Sure. Oh, so the fund balance at the end of 2021 was 1,981,000, and the voters voted to use 260 of it towards a dump truck.
Oh,
So then that's our remaining balance. So for 2000, what we have to do is we have to raise money for the school, the local school, the state school, the regional school, the county, and the town. So we raise all the money here in this building. So the total town tax effort, our general operating expenditures is $22,637,762. Sorry about that. So we need to make sure that we have enough fund balance to cover in case of emergency, because we raise all that money here in this building through our general fund. So if we do not use any fund balance to offset the tax rate, our tax rate's going to go up to $17.69.
Just call an A.
And that's using zero. That's 6.38% retainage. Now remember, the DRA likes us to have between a 5% and a 17% retainage. Column B, if we retain 5.45%, we can use 250,000 of our fund balance, and that'll bring the tax rate to $17.30. Column C is we have a retainage of 5.27%. We'll be using 300,000 of our fund balance, and that will bring the tax rate to $17.45. Wait a minute. That's something wrong on that one.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say it's a little bit
It goes up
different.
and down. Yep, we'll take a look at
Hang
that
on,
one.
let her grab that.
So the school in column B is a different number,
School in column B.
is 1182.
Oh, thank you. That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so it
yeah.
went, so column B is $17.86.
Yeah,
17?
No, that's not right either,
That
because
isn't
the
right.
school state's wrong too.
That's not right.
That whole column is wrong.
That looks better.
There we go. Is it all the way through?
1752.
All the way. 1749 would be column B. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So then again, column C would be the 5.27% retainage, brings it to $17.45. And then if we only retain 5%, we'd be using $372,000 of our fund balance, and that would bring the tax rate to $17.40. I added columns E and F just to give you an idea what it would take to get us down to our current tax rate. I flagged them in red because DRA already gave me a flag warning because we went below 5% retainage. We'd have to use $625,000 of our fund balance to bring the tax rate to $17.20, which was 2021's tax rate.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So it's your decision.
This isn't something we're voting on tonight, is it?
Yes,
Oh,
it
we
is.
are.
Yes, we are.
I'm gonna do like I do every year we do this. I'm gonna make a motion, we go for column D, 5% retainage, which is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Give as much as we can back to the taxpayers, because they're gonna need it as bad as we do.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
Oh, that was quick.
That was D.
That was column D, 5% retainage. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like a discussion, actually. I think I mean, the idea here is retained earnings, or retained taxes, whatever, that's our safety net, right? At the end of the day, Beth? Do
Correct.
I understand that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's how big a safety net do we want in case there's the meltdown?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand the logic of running the bare minimum of what's the legal amount of, or required amount of retainage.
It's not required, it's recommended.
The recommended is 5% at least.
Right.
That's the bare recommended minimum.
Right. You go below that and you're basically in default.
9 cents. So, I'll just throw a number out for you. Look at column A, just for a second, so if you take a $400,000 home, we can't use 250 anymore. So
No.
if you use $400,000 and multiply it by 49 cents, the increase in that $400,000 home is $196 for the year. I'm just a real number.
real number.
We
Yep.
can't use 250 anymore.
No, you
That's-
can't.
That's fake.
That's a fake number.
250 is fake.
Yep,
Yeah.
understand.
Just to give you an idea of,
So column D would be what, about $80?
what's it up, 20 cents?
Yeah,
$80 for the
for
year.
a 400,000, yeah.
But I just wanted reality,
Yeah.
because
That's
A
good.
is the column as everybody voted on.
Yeah,
I get what you're doing, we do this every year,
Yeah,
but
we
I
do.
just want
And I'm
people to
just-
understand that as it went to the ballot, and without putting a dime down,
Yep. And
$400,000 home would be $196,
more.
or $16 a month.
for me,
Increase.
every little bit helps. I just
I'm not saying,
pay-
I'm not
No,
taking
I want to
a
explain why, hey, you brought up some good points, and I just want to explain why I came out to this, like I usually do, but this year it's really hitting home. Electric bill has doubled for me, and it's one person in this house, and my electric bill doubled.
Yeah,
My heating oil is more than doubled. Fuel rates have gone up, and I'm like 99% of everybody else in this town. It's getting really tight. Food's doubled, everything's doubling, and I think we have this extra money. We've always been able to make do with the 5%. Obviously, we've gone a little bit under, but we need to give back as much as we can back to the taxpayers, because they're gonna need it just as bad as we do. Maybe
In the
that
fund
80 that
balance
80
isn't cash, you
I
understand that,
understand
right?
that, but
It's-
that
it's
$80
unpaid taxes as
is
well.
gonna make a difference for somebody's electric bill or whatever.
Yeah, I just did it.
So-
Currently, we have 638,000
Unpaid tax.
unreceived taxes.
It's due us.
Yep.
So you're down to at least 1.1 that's liquid. John, I totally understand. I go to the grocery store, I do everything else like everybody else
Oh,
does.
yeah, everybody's hurting.
Let's add top of it, I drive a diesel now, so there we go. But I just wanted numbers to say.
Real numbers, right.
So if you take the 196 and divide it by 52 weeks in a year, it's $3.76 a week. Just saying. I'm not, either way, I'm just
Yeah.
giving you the real number.
What did we see for an increase last year? Because we saw a major
Last year was
jump.
hard because we went from 23
Right.
down to 17 and the assessments went up.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
assessment
that
year.
was
So this
reassessment.
year is, for the next few years, you have this little bit of
Yeah,
sanity because you can figure it out. It's
Right.
just, it was too, we still got homes that are selling for $700,000
right.
yeah.
still. And so 400 is probably a little light, but I just wanted to use something because 250 is
A
up
more
there.
realistic number,
Yeah,
yeah.
400's a fair number for the assessed values.
Right.
Right,
Which is
That's what
what
the
you're
tax
paying.
rate's
Yeah.
best.
exactly, of
Right.
course. yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, John, I just needed a minute, that was just
No,
too,
that's-
yeah.
that's what
just-
the discussion part's
This
about.
is my first round on this, and
And you can see in the middle there is where the select board has done in years past, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
yeah,
And at the bottom, the retainage that was done down there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am a big retained earnings guy. So it floats the boat sometimes.
And
Okay,
I
I'm at
guess
the low end, I'm either C or D personally, but, so,
my take, John, is while I don't disagree with you at all, same boat. The town's in the same boat too.
Yep.
I think that my personal feeling is that is a little bit light. I'm definitely not at column A, but I think that the 5% is a little light in a year like this year. So, but that's my thought.
My argument to that, though, is we have that savings account.
Well,
Joe, taxpayer down the street, may not have that savings account.
minus $600,000 that we don't have to
Understand.
pay taxes. So that's a real number, just a thought. So again, I'm not at A, don't take that. I don't know if I'm at D. So, But there has been a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion on the table?
Which is column D at 5%.
Correct.
Correct.
Column D. Any further discussion? I'll call a vote. All those in favor of column D, 5% retainage, signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Yes.
Yes.
3-2, 5% retainage it is.
Before we move on, can I ask for like a 2-minute break?
I guess. You
Mr.
can ask, I say-
Mr. Campana, can I have a 2-minute break before you step up to the podium? Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Well, you're next.
Guess everybody's
Guess we'll
scooting.
take a short recess.
Careful.
Oh, had a heart attack.
Save. Save.
That's what she's doing.
Save
No,
again.
she's trying to.
That's one thing I'm always big on, save, 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 save. Are you gonna have a sign it tonight too?
I'm hoping.
Well,
That's what she's trying to get you
I
to-
figured as much.
Well, because the state's closed on Friday, so we're down a day.
Ew. Till it's Friday.
It's Veterans Day, so the
Oh.
state and town offices are closed.
All right, that makes sense.
I guess we have to wait for them to approve it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you have to wait for DRA to, she's gonna click the
Hopefully
button
they'll be available for signing.
tomorrow, yeah.
We'll grab 3 of them.
Oh, we can get them to come in and
Oh,
sign.
yeah, 3 of them are gonna be across the street tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
We'll grab
Well,
them.
no, not all at once. I think
No.
he's gonna start off and then he's gonna go to Boston. John's gonna take over, and I'm not sure. We can't do it, it has to go to DRA first.
Oh, okay.
They have to look at our numbers and okay it,
Make sure we did it right.
I guess.
Good.
Hopefully we won't get a-
I like your screensaver.
Oh, my son? That's an old picture now.
I know.
He's an old man. Yeah, did that. Thank you. The baby just turned 18 last weekend. That's rough. All right.
That's this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth, much appreciated, as always.
Yeah,
Got a lot
Beth,
done
thanks.
tonight.
Fine job.
Yeah, it all looks so simple. When you just get this all
When we
wrapped
know
up
it's,
in a
when we know
nice,
it's not.
yeah, when it's all wrapped up in a nice package.
There's a lot of hair pulling, but
I'm sure.
Yeah. Not out, just
I
pulling.
listened to her scream.
Yeah. So, all right, brings us to our next agenda item, which would be Frank, to discuss the resignation of DPW director.
Thank you. I asked Naomi again to be put on the agenda, because I wasn't sure I could do it in 5 minutes. But to keep track of time, I want to make it brief for you and I. My concerns, as voiced earlier tonight, is the resignation of Benji. And he had, and I'll try not to be repetitious of what you've heard from other people, but I don't know if I'll be successful. So, on October 10th, you accepted Benji's resignation. It was the second resignation within the last couple of months. The first one was the assistant town clerk. And Benji, as a road agent, he wore several hats. He was road agent as a road agent and highway along with the highway personnel, whom I define as having the most impact on every resident traveling to and from somewhere every day, spring, summer, and fall and winter. A road agent who stepped up and took charge for a proposal, and this is the latest, for the River Road Bridge. He has through listening, attending Selectmen's meeting, he has a good working relationship with the engineer who has a working history of that bridge. And as far as working relationships, I'll extend that to other vendors. I've heard how he's approached Sizemore for help, and there was another one. But in any event, so he's also a road agent. I'm not going to go through, his longevity with the town, both as a highway worker and, ending up being road agent. But he was a resident, which I think was very advantageous to the town, along with his knowledge of the town. He knew the town north, south, east, and west, front and back. I'm not saying that somebody else may not adapt to that, but he was already the person, the go-to person. I attended the 17th, the October 17th meeting, and I took my own notes, but then I went to YouTube, and I'm not very successful at being a person that can get off of YouTube, but I did my best. I think I was pretty accurate. Benji started off, he noted it was his last public presentation to you folks, department head. So he started off by thanking the guys at the transfer station. He mentioned it was very efficient, moves a lot of product, and not broken. What he said after that is that he watched 5 minutes of a previous meeting, which I believe was October 10th, and it was about restructuring or not restructuring. He thought it was a bad idea. More towns are going to Public Works Director. Better deal for the taxpayers. He didn't know why you, the Board of Selectmen, wouldn't do, the same thing. What was very, and quoted from him, which I thought was a very sad state for him to be in. He said, "To say it's too much work for one person either means," I have question marks, I couldn't quite get what the wording was, "you don't have the right guy in charge." He was saying that about himself. What an awful thing to say, to have to say about himself after all the years of experience. Secondly, if the board thought it was too much for me, maybe I wasn't doing a good enough job. My comment's the same. Those are Benji's words, okay? After 6 years of road agent and many more as a resident. If for a long-term respected employee who wore many hats, to make those statements of himself is a serious negative, my words, negative reflection of the Board of Selectmen. All 5 of you. I tried to connect some dots that caused Benji to resign. Although Benji's 6 years as a road agent or director, there are a number of changes of selectmen in the board. Throughout those changes, Benji had received many positive recognitions of work performance from the Board of Selectmen. Some examples, flooding, how he handled washout, how he handled 2-foot snowstorms, and in general, road maintenance along with his personnel. The transfer station operations. He had already made how, I already cited how he, felt this, how well the transfer station worked. Again, it's not without saying that there couldn't be some improvement somewhere, all right? So if I take the past 25 years of the 51 years that I've lived in town, I've heard countless reports on the transfer station by Benji to the Board of Selectmen. Some were issues, most resolved. Very positive on how well people recycle, Mr. Cahill, with numbers to support, with revenue dollars to support. It was Benji that, along with the vendors, included bulk items. It was mentioned tonight in the transfer station budget. The savings. So it was mentioned, along with vendors, included bulk items reports to be excluded from household waste. Whatever the number that Beth had mentioned to you, it decreased, an amount. And having attended a number of selectmen's meetings since last March, I tried to connect some dots. Again, speculation on my part, to be sure. But the dot I connected was Mr. Cahill. The transfer station seems to be his prime topic of conversations. I've heard that at numerous meetings that I have attended. Remember the clear plastic bags? Remember the, quote, best words I could use, the trash police officers? However, the remaining 4 members of the board, and I kind of excluded Sherry Burdick, you don't have clean hands either. And this is all pertaining to his resignation. What did you do? Again, I hate to repeat somebody from tonight, but what did you do to avoid his resignation? I know you don't answer questions. You kind of do that kind of stuff behind closed doors. And lastly, I didn't vote for any one of you, and I don't mind saying it in public, either the first time that you ran for selectman or when you ran for re-election. All right. I would, however, give this vote. If there was a vote for no confidence, I would vote for that. I think it's deplorable that Benji has left this town, along with the previous assistant town clerk. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your plans are. It's not a slight against anybody who you may put in the positions temporarily, but, kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes, you can take that with a little bit of grain of salt also. Sometimes you want to avoid it breaking down, but that's my perspective, that it boils down to one selectman, and that's the newest selectman. Certainly speculation on my part. I think it's deplorable. Thanks for your time. I hope I didn't go over too much.
Thank you, Frank. It was 10 minutes, by the way. I kept track of it for you. You asked it.
I tried.
Oh, we can, absolutely.
You made an appointment,
Yeah,
it's not
it-
public
you're-
comment.
you made it, it's not public comment.
I don't, again, just like the last time I was on the agenda, I don't want to be put on the agenda so I can just keep rolling on, because I don't like to be up here any more than you probably like listening to me. So I appreciate it.
Would you like any answers to some of your statements or
I
questions?
think you should. I think there's
Absolutely.
enough being said that
Well,
I think it's, it wor-
I
it's
think
worth.
I think it warrants it.
a reply.
Yeah, replies, yeah. We'll start with John.
So, because it is a personnel issue, there were communications had by multiple board members to Benji prior to us accepting his resignation. We can't go into it because it's a private issue, obviously, and I'm sure you understand that.
I do.
But I want you and everybody else to be assured that we just didn't accept his resignation when he first gave it to us 2 weeks prior and say, okay, thank you. There was a lot of discussions, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of emails by, I believe, everybody up here, including the town administrator.
Yes,
We did not give up without a fight.
that's correct.
Okay.
So this is the first time we've addressed it as a board, to my
I
knowledge.
believe so.
All of us regretted seeing Benji leave. When he initially gave his notice, I don't remember the exact date, we had asked him to, we told him, no, we're not going to accept your resignation, come back to us in 2 weeks.
Or a week, or whatever.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a
Whatever it
week.
was. Yeah.
A week or 2 weeks. And we asked him, what can we do to change your mind?
As a board.
Discussions
What can we do?
happened,
Yeah, I get it.
and ultimately, he elected to continue with the current path he had already chosen.
That's correct.
Okay. Well,
There-
there always has to be more to the story and non-public, and
Yep.
I get that.
There were
And-
many,
and-
many efforts made.
Efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go down without a fight.
Well, maybe he was looking into the future of what might be that it didn't agree with him, I don't know. Okay, I
Frank-
appreciate the
Yeah,
response.
Frank, I'd like to make a comment because you pointed me out a couple of times as.
I did.
And I am the new guy on the bench and the board here, and I think probably, I took on the role of administrative oversight. Ben Knapp is a department head, just as the chief of police or any other department. And yes, I took a close look at the transfer station with the boards agreeing that possibly there are improvements, there are things we could make. We do hover around 20% of the population recycles, and we'd like to see that turned up, how we might get there. So yes, in fact, I did have a focus. I take the job seriously and did my homework, fact-checking, and there are improvements that could be made. I don't believe that's what unsettled Ben Knapp. Ben Knapp, as we all know now today, began pursuing the job he has taken on in June. Okay, I had sat on the board for 2 months. One man, a powerless person on a 5-man board. No reason for a 20-year employee. Okay, Ben Knapp, I can open my phone, all positive communication, okay? Yes, my style might have unsettled him a couple of times. I'm sure it has, okay? I'm very direct, all right? But Ben Knapp is currently sitting, based on my invitation, on our River Road Bridge Committee. We're working together, okay? So as you're connecting the dots and floating that around, connect that dot. He's doing that as a citizen. And I applaud him for that, because you're right, he was a tremendous resource. He was an asset to this town. I reached out to Ben on 2 occasions during that 8 days before he made his final decision to try to encourage him to rethink this. And also to state why, because we were never told why. And just as you sit and you think of it, you come at it from every angle, and you think, what happened? I mean, I can open my phone where I'm not mad at you, I'm pissed at them, right? So stick to the facts. He made a career change. He's getting paid more money to work in a smaller town.
With less responsibilities.
Why we said possibly we want to restructure is because what pushed him out the door? Had we stretched him too thin? Other towns do have road agents, other towns do have transportation superintendents, both which report to the town administrator. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't look at that. What broke the
Absolutely.
camel's back?
Right.
So, you know, everyone's upset that he left, but really take a deep breath and step back and take a look at how could that possibly be that scenario you just laid out? That one individual took him down.
Well, if you're asking me again, it's speculation on my part from what I've seen, okay, and listened to sitting here, all right, it all seemed to be directed toward transfer station, okay?
That was a task I was asked to undertake.
And that's a responsibility, just like John Van, he seems to be an expert and, knowledgeable of, communications. And I think I'm comfortable, that somebody is like that, sitting on the board. And you probably all have, John Osborne knows transfer station, and you, Rick, how many times have I stood up here, not stood up here, but, attended a meeting, and Benji talks, equipment. You two guys talk the same language, everything from engine running, everything from engine to running gear. I want this because that doesn't seem to be any good. I mean, that gives me some confidence, not that I'm willing to write a blank check for everything, of course, but that gives me some confidence that there's an understanding, all right? But again, my dots were, geared to, one issue and one person behind that issue, and it had never, till that person came upon the board, it never, and I kind of do it respectfully, but it had never been an issue for at least the 6 years that he was on board. And to bolster that, he had compliments about it. Okay, again, thank you very much.
See you tomorrow, Frank.
I'll try to stick to public comment.
All right, brings us to the manifest. I'm going to order the treasurer to sign payroll and accounts payables checks dated November 10th, 2022, as included in the following manifest. The payroll manifest is $68,076.45 weekly payroll, and accounts payable manifest of $204,290.64. John Stark, accounts payable $250,000, Weare School District $250,000, for a total of $772,367.09. The following manifests were ordered to be signed at the October 17th meeting, with a payroll manifest of $70,580.24 for weekly and monthly checks dated 10/27, a payroll manifest of $80,148.75 for checks dated 11/3, accounts payable manifest of $99,081.86 for checks dated 10/27, and an accounts payable manifest of $37,869.85 for checks dated 11/3. As there is no selectmen's meeting scheduled for Monday, November 14th, I'd order the treasurer to sign payroll checks dated November 17th, estimated to be about $80,000. Further, order the treasurer to sign up to the amount of $90,000 for accounts payables that cannot wait until next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts will be reported to the Board of Selectmen by inclusion in the next manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there enough signatures on everything?
Yes, there is.
Thank you.
Brings us to the minutes.
Good night, Tom. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Tom.
We'll start with 8:23.
Back of the pile.
Can I just say one thing, Naomi? If somebody needs to be filled in for a couple of hours, I could do that tomorrow. I can't do the day like I've done in the past.
We might need something.
So don't run away then, because we'll talk about that right now.
Why don't you do it now? Yeah.
We'll talk about it right now, who's gonna be where. So Kevin, you said you could be there first thing in the morning,
Till
right?
11:30. I have to be in Boston at 2.
Okay, so you can be there till 11:30. You were coming in,
I got an appointment at 7:30. Some people tell me it's an hour, some people tell me it's 4,
all right, so theoretically, you could be there by noontime, 12:30.
theoretically.
Okay. Sherry, what's your availability?
I can come in late afternoon, like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm going to be in Concord Hospital all day.
Okay. John, you and I think we.
Yeah, we're both, I
About
can't
6
take,
o'clock.
I'm already booked up. I can't take any time off of work.
I can
'cause
probably
we-
get here about the same time Sherry can, so.
Yeah, I'll give it between 5 and 6.
So if you could meet me at 11:30,
Yeah, maybe
Just
like.
in case.
11:30,
I could maybe go more than a couple hours, but I just,
you know, it should be 11:30 to 12:30.
ish.
you can do better than that even, if it's needed.
Okay,
I just didn't wanna take on a day, oftentimes I've taken on a day.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kinda can't do that.
That'd be greatly appreciated. 'cause
Much appreciated, sir.
Okay, so 11:30?
You'll get me under the wire in the
Yeah,
Boston.
so he'll be there 11:30 to,
That'd be perfect.
that'd be perfect.
And thank you
Then
for
whatever.
volunteering.
Yes,
Yeah.
appreciate it, Tom.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Tom.
thanks, Tom. See you tomorrow.
So, till 11:30, John, you're in the air, Tom's gonna
PM,
do-
put John for PM.
okay? So Tom will do 11:30 to,
To John, to Tom, to John.
and then somebody's gotta cover till Sherry gets there, because we gotta have one selectman there at all
Well, I'll
times.
stay
John,
until,
John's
So
gonna be
you'll
there,
relieve Tom,
and he'll,
and then Sherry's gonna come at 4:30.
and then.
5 o'clock, and then,
4:30,
yeah.
And then
okay.
I'll be there at
Sherry
night.
comes, I'll
And then you
leave,
guys are going later?
I'll be 5 to 6, somewhere in that neck of the woods.
Yeah. And him and I will flip a coin on who brings his
Because I wanna
golf
just text Maureen later, so.
Yep, yeah, she wanted to make sure there was.
And then there's gonna need 3 of you to sign the box when it's
Right.
done.
Yeah, but who brought it for the last 4 times?
Not
This
my
guy.
problem. Not my problem.
So, we'll flip a coin.
So Naomi just said we need to make sure we have 3 people to sign.
Yeah, so
Me and,
if,
I'll be there.
if Sherry goes home, he's just down the road and you guys will be
yeah,
there, there's 3 people.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Okay,
Yep, okay.
as long as we have 3 to sign the box at the end of the night.
Sounds like, yeah, exactly. Sounds like a plan.
Hopefully not so many write-ins this time.
Preferably no.
I don't know.
Please fill the circles in, write legibly.
Yeah,
Oh, I know
that's
there is.
exactly what we heard too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Just as long as they're legit, please.
No Mickey Mouse.
No
and-
Donald Duck.
Well, there's discussion of double, yeah. There's discussion of I don't know the word. So you get somebody running for governor, and then you write his name down, so you circle it here,
Yeah.
and then you circle it in the write-in, what's that, a double or a push vote? I can't remember, they're looking to get 2 votes for him,
Yeah.
and what it does is it kicks the entire ballot off to be done by
That slows
hand.
everything
Being
down.
hand counted,
It's
right.
I wanna think something pushing is what I'm thinking, election pushing or,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
It
we've
also
heard,
kicks it out of the ballot box. and
Right,
then
we've
it's
heard
ready
there's
to
a
put
lot
in
of-
the sleeve.
Takes it out entirely, so you have to hand count.
the whole
entire
ballot.
A lot of people are forcing a hand
Just
count
the
because they
whole-
don't believe in the
whole
system.
Ballot.
Yeah.
Yep, and the other thing is the forcing the hand to count them versus a machine, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
crazy.
But, that's
See what
not much.
happens.
Their prerogative.
We'll know better this time tomorrow night.
We'll still be counting this time.
Oh, I know we will be, but I'm saying, we'll know better where we're at tomorrow night in 24 hours.
I don't think we finished we didn't finish till 11 o'clock that night, right? Last
It
election,
was
of course,
about 10:40.
the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had to stay later than that, but I was
She's
done and I
good.
walked out.
I almost bet it's gonna be later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I
It's
bet
gonna
it
be
is.
later tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's gonna be a lot more people voting.
I couldn't remember where I recognized you from, but now I'm
Yeah,
like,
she
okay, yeah,
works
that
in-
was,
Yeah, I'm there all day.
Yeah.
I know, I don't know how you guys did it, to be quite honest with you, because I was only there half a day and I was seeing double.
Because we fed them.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, all right, back to the minutes.
Back to the minutes, okay.
All right, page 1, 823. Page 2. 3.
Yep, under tennis court vandalism, first sentence.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Yep.
Selectman Van stated that the board was contracted a couple of times, that is contacted.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
do that too.
Page 4. And 5.
Yeah, back to 4.
Nope.
The last vote, numbers don't match.
Oh, it should be 500.
Yep.
I didn't see that. I read it too today.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of August 23rd, 2022 as amended.
I'll second it. Move and second it. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
That will bring us to 9/8. Page 1
Oh, it's short.
and 2. I'll move to we approve the September 8th meeting minutes as written.
Second?
Move and second it. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yeah, you weren't there. Solid. 9:15, page 1.
Yes. Halfway down, Vice Chairman Hippler moved, and then Chairman Hippler seconded.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did good.
I'm good like that, aren't I?
Apparently.
Sorry.
Who did what?
Come on.
Ricky was playing both roles.
I do that so you guys, I know you read it.
Yeah. I mean, I was busy, and I was present by cell phone.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of September 15, 2022 as amended.
Second, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Ten twenty-four.
Page 1. Two. Three,
Yep. Halfway down,
on page 3.
yep.
Okay.
Paragraph starts, Vice Chairman Osborne, say the full board needs to be, will need to have discussion to see. That will not happen tonight as we are missing 3 members. No, you're missing 2 members. 3 members
true.
couldn't add a meeting.
Yep.
Told you.
Yeah, 3 who couldn't have a meeting. Yeah. Gotta need 3. Anything else? I'll move that we accept the October 24th meeting minutes as amended. Anyone, you guys second?
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Abstentions?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Wasn't there.
Weren't there.
That's right.
Okay.
So I looked over you
There
guys.
was the other 2.
10:26. Page 1. And page 2.
Move to accept October 26 minutes as read.
I'll second it. Moving seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Abstentions? Administrator's report.
First, I was wondering before I forget, and elections you already did. Back when we did the Southware station for the heat for
Yes.
AJ LeBlanc.
Yes.
So, here's finally the paperwork for the extended warranty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is it expired?
it's, no, you still got 3 more years.
Oh, good.
4 more years.
Thank God.
But at the same time, I don't think we got it, it came, and Beth looked it up, and so we didn't get it when we first did it.
Okay.
So here's the warranty, and it's 1 signature only, but you signed both copies. 1 goes back and 1 stays with us.
Make a motion, we authorize Chairman Hippler to sign that.
The extended warranty and service agreement with AJ.
That's it, yes.
Yeah.
With AJ LeBlanc Plumbing and Heating for the Southware furnace. That sound good?
Yes.
That sounds like my motion, yes.
I can't believe it ain't done yet. All right, moving, is there a second?
Second.
You can
Move-
second it.
Moving seconded, all in
Yes.
favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that all in
So
favor?
it took them a year
Yeah.
to give you the warranty, huh?
Beth's like, is this new? I'm like, no, I think we included it, but she couldn't find it, so I'm just gonna, they sent it over. But every year we have to do a service with them or it voids the warranty. So
Right.
they've already been scheduled.
Yeah.
Was that 5 and 0?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think the rest. Should be 5. If you want to take 1 and pass 1 down. Oh, thank you. Joint loss, something happened and they didn't meet, they were supposed to meet on 9/27. I'm not sure that they've scheduled another one. There was no minutes for 9/27 because there wasn't a meeting.
Okay.
Radio communication, it's my understanding that's been ordered as far as the equipment. We're
Right.
still waiting to see if the cell tower companies are gonna let us on or not. I haven't heard the update, have you?
I heard from Brandon last week, he gave me a call, told me there was some questions being had by one of the cell tower companies and two-way in terms of logistics of where that's going, so that part is still in progress. There's still negotiations about the plans.
Okay, okay. As far as contracts, I only have the forester and the custodial one left to finalize for you guys.
Okay.
Asbestos testing, 487 for the Barden property in Buzzell Hill. Those samples were taken on 10/24. He sent me an email. It's been sent to the lab. He asked for our billing address, and then he said once he sends me over the bill, we pay it, he'll release the information. Just make sure we pay it. So I haven't seen the bill yet.
Okay.
The driveway bond policy, we'll have to put something together that's to do with the bonding in the winter. I have kind of a rough paragraph to put together, but that's so that, you're supposed to pave the apron, and in the winter when the plants are closed, you can't, if you remember that, so we'll put that together. River Road Bridge, I guess this is an opportunity, so we've had a second meeting. Benji couldn't make it because he was gone, but he knew we were gonna meet.
Yep.
I have his new email. At that discussion, we really talked about going to
Options.
Concord
Okay.
and pushing the issue as to, are we in 27, are we in 32? We really need to push it forward. I mean, the funding we have is there, but we need to get something out of the state in concrete fashion that we can move it, or we can't move it, because that's gonna determine our next step. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We, Jacobs put together, it's a draft, and it's 5 scenarios. Scenario number 1 is a repair. Number 2 is what we were looking at.
As far as a redeck, rebeam.
Yeah, the only problem with that one is that's what we were presented in the last DPW presentation. That number is actually 945 with a maximum lifespan of 25 years, which it just doesn't actually make sense, because in other words, what it's going to cost to rebuild the bridge, at that point, it won't be fixable at all. The exterior trusses would be gone. We would be building a new $5 million bridge. So it brings us up into these other scenarios where we can get a 60-year bridge for $1.5 million. So for that extra $600,000, galvanizing, things like that. But it's really in a draft form right now, and we'll be getting ready hopefully after Wednesday's meeting, and then our following meeting on Thursday, which for our next meeting, we should have something concrete to give everybody for review, and to weigh in on where are we with funds and what are our options. But we are things are moving very quickly and very positively at this point. Yeah, Tom has been very, I guess, he's done his due diligence in a hurry. I mean, this document was put together in 3 days, and it's a very detailed document.
And the blanks are still missing would be the life cycle costs.
Yeah.
Can that be scanned and sent to the members?
Yeah, I'm sure it could be.
Yeah, I think I shipped it to everybody, that's right,
Yeah,
because he sent it to me.
It can come off to you, this preliminary one?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep you up to speed, sure. It's, I mean, of course, I mean, there's no reason it can't be. Another thing that he has emphasized time and time again, is he wants us to implement a formal maintenance program, a annual or subcontract it. But he's been very persistent about that, if his numbers are gonna stand true.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, because without maintenance, just like anything, without a car, without maintenance, you know what
Yeah,
happens.
the other big, the way the bridge lies, it's a lie, there's not much, the water's 8 feet off the bottom of the deck. We have a lot of vegetation in that area, and I'm scheduling a time with conservation to talk about getting rid of some of that vegetation. We can remove up to 50% of the vegetation within the wetland area, to try to get some sunlight in there and dry that thing out, because currently it is a soggy mess.
Okay.
And he's repeatedly brought that up too. Ben had repeatedly brought that up.
Yep.
So, we're gonna see.
Because the moisture's not helping it.
Oh, no, absolutely not, especially if it's retaining it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just sitting there rotting.
And I did find out, you know, the rubber gasket, the infamous rubber gasket that's been removed, well, that happened year one. And it turns out that it's a diagonal bridge anyway, it doesn't come straight across the river. It was at the exact angle of
our
the
plows.
plows. And the very first time the plow went across it.
Ripped it.
It cuffed it right out.
Yep.
And it's been gone ever since. And they actually welded small steel skid plates over
plow to go over it.
the expansion joint to jump the plow up and over. Since then, the way the concrete has worn and the steel is worn, they're no longer needed. The plow skips it, jumps over it. But that's what was the
The first problem.
day one. So if we go back to a similar bridge and replace it, we can avoid that coming, I don't know.
Well, now that we know.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can make an adjustment so that doesn't happen to us again. Okay?
Very good.
So moving on, the rental ordinance, as I said, we had the last public hearing. It's now, as the attorney was brought to our attention, that it does go to town meeting. So we need to have a discussion to see whether the board wants to put it on the ballot
Great.
for town meeting or not. That's our next step, and we only had 3 years, so
Yep.
the whole alluding to having a full board discussion so that, do you want to put it on or do you not? That's the only option. It's not resting at this level. It's going to rest at the town level, per the RSA.
Are we discussing that now?
Um,
Who wasn't here? It was myself and,
Sherry.
Burdick.
Yeah.
I mean, we can,
you want to do it under other business so she can finish
yeah,
her stuff?
yeah, we can do
I
that.
mean, you can do it while it's here. It's easier. I mean, we just had a discussion about the bridge. It's easier
Yeah.
while it's here.
Mine's pretty short and simple, no.
That is pretty short and simple.
Yep.
Yeah. Any rationale behind it, or just don't want to say?
I don't see, as of right now, I don't see the justification behind it. I was reading through the minutes. I was there for the first meeting, and I'm not sold on the ordinance at this time.
Okay. Any other board members have anything to add, say,
Yeah.
think about?
I kind of agree that something needs to be done, but I'm not at all sure that what we have is gonna suffice. So I'm gonna be a no also.
Okay. Kevin, you were drawing a breath?
Yeah, well, we got an email this week, right, from somebody making a couple suggestions. And I don't like the broad, it's too broad for me as far as it being, every rental in the town falls under this ordinance. Some of which we pointed out in the meeting and doesn't make sense. I mean, some of these are seasonal rentals that aren't even heated. And within the ordinance, it says that it has to maintain 65 degrees. It really doesn't address, I mean, if we're looking at Airbnb, you can rent a tree house on Airbnb, right? You can sleep in a shoe. I mean, there's really crazy stuff out there. People just want life experience, So I have talked to Tony Sawyer from zoning, who's taken the most heat on this. Tony would like a working meeting between himself, planning, a member of planning, potentially a member of the board, to look at, do we need to redraft, do we go forward with this current ordinance for a vote from the board, or do we create some sort of a simpler, less complex, similar to the email we received this week, where rentals have, occupancy. This rental, 4 people can stay here. Everyone seemed to be receptive in the public hearing about, increasing a bedroom to be able to have guests. In other words, not just limited to one person or 2 people, make a multiple, like 3 people, so that if you were hosting a weekend with family came in to visit, you couldn't send them away, right?
I think there's already NFPA regulations on this stuff, is there
There is,
not?
there's NFPA on.
Yeah.
See, the occupancy stuff, what designates a bedroom and all that stuff already exists in
The fire
federal
code.
law.
Yeah,
So-
that the state has adopted.
I think where they're getting that from, exactly, is that they've now moved into they're hospitality businesses, right? They're paying room and meals tax. And so how do we create some criteria around that? I originally said site review, just like any other business. Planning does site review. Planning doesn't want to touch it. So what they want is a general ordinance to be able to say to the fire, to police, to whoever is going to enforce this. They're suggesting the fire is the enforcer. Right now, with the fire department in transition, I don't see how that's
I don't
going to
see it.
happen either. So there's just a lot of, it's hard for me to say yes or no on, because it's not black and white enough.
That brings up another good point, is we don't have a
We have an intern,
full-time replacement chief yet.
we have an intern fire chief right
Yes,
now.
so, and to have any kind of comment, we really should have a fire chief in place and get their,
Right.
or at least hear from the Board of Fire Wards, and have we even spoken to them yet, or
No.
have we asked for their opinion yet?
No.
So if they're gonna be the ones governing all this stuff as proposed, then we really ought to hear from them too, but I'm still a no, I shouldn't even go that far. I think this is too much oversight over something that's, I don't see as a big enough problem to
Do we have to
to
make a dis-
regulate all 9,000 plus people over, as some people have stated, a very minuscule amount of complaints.
Right. We don't even know the number of complaints. We have a statement from,
I've heard as little as 2 and as many as a couple of dozen complaints. I haven't heard anything concrete.
yeah, either way, I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything.
So, I mean, and you heard, I mean, our zoning is permissive.
Mhm.
So basically, town council, our next step, I think Tony's asked town council to write a letter, standard form letter,
Mhm.
for all the people that we know about, meaning advertising on Airbnb or VRBO, or advertising on Facebook, which we know from, one of them said it's gonna stop and only be on the marketplace. But still, they're still advertising a rental, and at that point, they get the cease and desist letter and penalty and the whole thing.
Right.
Because it's not allowed in any zone.
Yep.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one or the other, so you're gonna get heat one way or another, or Tony does. He's just looking at, if it's no, it's no, develop me a cover letter, and as I come across things, or as people file a complaint for, then they'll get the cease and desist letter.
Which we don't
That's-
want to do either, right?
I don't think you want to do that in some situations, because as explained in one of the first time around, there were some very valid points. You know, there's some widows that are trying to stay in their home. There's a big, huge house, want to rent out part of it.
Yep.
You know, I totally get it, but you're leaving him because of the complaints in one of two avenues.
The problem seems to stem around the fact that we're a permissive zoning system.
It does,
That seems to be the crux of the issue.
right? There's a lot of things that are not permitted. And and I don't know where all of a sudden we seem to be over inundated with complaints.
I think that's part of the problem, is we as a government shouldn't say you need to
But
come
not
to
just
us
for
every.
rental, not just for
No,
rentals.
no, overall.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have, at no point should a private homeowner have to come to us and say, hey, I want permission to do this, or the answer is automatically no. This is a free country, and they ought to be
But
doing.
there's an avenue. You can apply for $50 to go to the zoning board. Right? Sell your case to the zoning board, you get a variance, you're free to go. There is an avenue.
There is, but that step shouldn't exist, but that's a discussion for another day. And-
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but there is an avenue.
There is, yes.
Yeah.
But now
And there's
I've gone off
some you
topic,
don't know
so.
about, you'll never know about.
All right,
Yep.
so is there an option of at least, again, there's a lot of people that have a lot of time into this, okay? I think they've in part, headed in a wrong direction, and I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but I don't think it will move forward as written, John, no matter what we do. I wouldn't agree that as written right now, I would have to say, no, don't move it forward. But would we be opposed to trying to get a working meeting with a representative from the board and with those guys, ask some really hard questions? Or, you know,
Bring us something that I think we all can agree upon.
Yeah.
yeah,
If they can do that before January,
Yeah, we have to have the warrant.
but I don't know if there's
posted
gonna be enough time for that. That may end up having to be a next year project.
yeah, but at least it gives them, I mean, while we got the kettle on the stove here, we can at least get them steered in the right direction, that it's not gonna get to here and then get kicked back to them and then reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Which right now, they need to reinvent the wheel. What's
Yeah,
currently out there is not gonna fly.
What's written, I'm not in favor of myself, so.
No, we can't get, I mean, like I said, a lot of these places won't heat at 65 degrees.
No.
You know, there's a tree house in town that people are renting on Airbnb.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't meet any of that criteria.
No, not any of it, right.
You gotta go up a ladder to get in it.
Yeah. No harnesses involved.
No
Except they
harnesses.
fall off that ladder.
No.
They're in trouble.
Don't worry, we'll go pick them up.
Well, they're renters. So would that be something you'd be okay if I at least reach out to them and ask them, and that would include fire, planning, who initiated this?
I say, if we're gonna go through with that, my thought is, let's talk to the Board of Fire Wards, get their opinion first. Do they even wanna talk about this now, or
do they
wait till the
want it
chief?
in their house, or do they, period, or do they want to wait?
Are
till-
they gonna accept the responsibility of it?
In the house,
And two,
period.
if they are gonna accept the responsibility, do they wanna wait till they have a chief in place before they even discuss that and get his input, his or her input, excuse me?
Right,
Okay,
right,
that's good, that's fine with me.
yeah. I think that's kind of the
If
crux
he's gonna
now.
be the enforcer,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If that position's gonna be the enforcer, yeah, I think we need to wait.
Yeah, get the Board of Fire Wards' opinion first.
Well, and I think that they're, you know, again, if their opinion is, wait till somebody comes in, then
Need a
we
full-time
wait,
Yep.
so.
But someone did call me a couple weeks ago, and I'd not thought about it, but they were concerned about people coming to visit at their house, relatives, and them having to go through this process. And I told them I didn't think it affected their relatives if you had
No,
somebody
as long as you're
coming in.
not charging them.
Yeah.
Like I do.
Right,
Oh, wow. Alrighty then, well, I'm glad I'm not in your extended family.
yeah.
Just a small stipend to
Small
handle
stipend
the, yeah, toilet paper
cover
and things
charge.
like that,
Yeah.
yeah, my overhead. Yeah, yeah, it's a rental agreement,
Right.
yeah. They
Yeah, it
wouldn't
really
have
is driven by the rental.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have a family reunion and have people stay,
stay.
as long as you're not charging them.
Glamping out on the lawn.
to- Yeah,
They could do whatever.
they
I
can
mean,
do whatever.
They can host it and bring pitch a tent in your field,
long
as
as you're
long
not
as you're
charging
not
them.
charging them. They're gonna leave the next morning.
Right.
What's the,
Yeah.
it wasn't made for a lot of what was brought up, I think.
There's a lot of self-policing too, by the way, now in those systems. It's just getting someone to report it, you know, to either Airbnb or
Probably,
Verbo or something. Someone has to actually make that connection. But get ready, because Tony is going to start sending out letters, cease your
Good.
business, close your
Okay.
business,
Good.
okay?
Alright, cemeteries?
So cemeteries, that's,
Yeah, ongoing.
yeah, that'll be,
Long,
I won't
long,
make the pun, so.
it's long term.
The food trailer, we received notification it was gonna be moved.
I think
What
it's
I was
been
gonna do is, just for our satisfaction, is let Tony or Romeo go down or to Inison and make sure that it's gone. I haven't heard anything, but I think we ought to do our due diligence on our part and and make sure and verify. Evaluation forms, still waiting on a form.
Okay.
Did you get them?
No, I didn't get anything from you.
You guys all should have, because I sent it to board members, because I wondered if your email didn't work like his.
Yeah, I didn't get anything.
Did you guys all get it?
Yeah.
It was a while
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
just 2
resend
weeks
it
ago.
to me and I'll watch for it, maybe.
Well, I'll have to do it to all board members, because his isn't working
Where is it?
individually. Yours isn't working individually, but if I do you as a
You sent
board,
it to board members.
yeah, I did get it.
in
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, and I didn't see it.
And you said it 2 weeks ago when we did it again.
It shouldn't have gone in
I
my
was in
junk
your office.
folder or spam, because that's something I get all the time.
Okay, well, here's how we're gonna get rid of this one. So Naomi's gonna send this to you before the night's out, and if you
I'll
don't
look-
have it
I'll look
tomorrow, call
tomorrow,
her,
yeah.
because we gotta get on with this one.
Yeah, I got it, 9 o'clock.
Can you flip it faster than I can?
I found it, yes.
Yeah, but
Just
can you
forward it
just
to-
forward it to
Can you
her?
forward it to all, like, board members like you always do? You don't have to say anything,
Or forward it
because it
directly
should
to
go to your
Sherry?
email,
So
because
you
board
just want
members
that-
works.
Just that.
Yeah, I got it at the board members'
Put
email
into
that
that
time.
form, right?
At the tail of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no big deal.
I would like to discuss, we ran the advertisement for both full-time and part-time administrative assistants, one for the DPW and one for here. I've got some applications, but I'd like to talk about that at the end in non-public, to have that discussion. That's the non-public at the end of the evening. The budget schedule, obviously you heard tonight, DPW in default. 2 weeks from now, you're gonna have the library, the fire, and the CIP. And then 12/5, you're gonna have the police and the small budgets. And 12/19, we're hoping to do one complete run-through before the end of the year.
Okay.
So that's our plan. So that we're gonna try to get it over to you guys.
I sent Naomi a text last week.
You're gonna be gone the first week in December.
Yeah, I'm out of state for that week, so I will not be here. So I'll be leaving,
How dare you?
yeah. I'll be leaving very early on the 6th, so I won't make it that
Well,
night.
then you can come to the meeting on the 5th.
Yeah, I'm out
Just,
there.
what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
The meeting's on 12/5.
Yeah,
You can make that meeting.
uh-huh. Yeah, that's gonna work well.
Yeah, no, I put it on my calendar. Just so everybody is listening or knows, the town office is closed Friday for Veterans Day.
Yeah,
State and local,
we're closed.
I think the post office, I don't know.
It's a
if
federal
they do or
holiday.
not, But whatever, it's a federal holiday.
Right.
And then I'm off Tuesdays, I get the wrong date there. Go down through the projects, the town hall bathroom renovations. I know Kevin has gone over, so I'll let
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah, that's, should have that, by the end of the month, that should be ready to go out to bid.
Okay.
The plumbing question went back down underneath. The plumbing can get
Moved.
flipped around.
Yep.
There's a little bit of work down there, but that's good. I mean, it's just a bunch of work
Yeah.
before the end of the month.
So then, brings me to number 3, Kevin also was involved with the library chimney. I think he sent it to all you guys last time, you guys didn't have a problem with that. He's also sent it over to Clay, and on the very bottom of it, it talks about a on-site visit on
Yeah.
the week of the 28th. And then shortly after that, the bids will be
Yeah,
due.
and that's been firmed up. The site walk is gonna be the 29th of November with a rain date of the 30th, 9:30 a.m. Clay has gotten a number of contractors that have committed to coming out and looking at it, through the manual.
Yep.
So that's worked out great. He's stepped to the plate. The only other building thing was the building inspector signed off on the sheds at
Oh,
last weekend, last
Excellent.
Thursday.
Excellent.
So that's signed off, and they're currently putting the cardboard back in there, making room for the salt. So that one's out of the way.
Thank you to the DPW guys for getting that done.
Yeah, and they did the best they can do.
One more on that shed. When I was talking to Benji 2 weeks ago, whatever, he was hoping next year to pave that,
Okay.
and then a 10-foot
Out.
apron outside.
Yeah.
So that's something we might wanna keep on the radar somewhere.
Okay.
Cause he says there's nothing but sand in there.
Right, so you don't want to get stuck, it's be easier.
I wonder if we can do millings, if that'd be cheaper,
Yeah.
and just use a roller instead of actually having a paver come down and do it.
Something.
Yeah.
Get something in there so it's hard.
Yeah, recycle millings might be better.
Yep,
That's how
probably
they were-
cheaper.
That's how they were hitting the posts.
Yeah, falling in,
Sliding.
Tire go
No,
down
it's just
2
soft.
inches. and
soft and slide in.
They only had 4 inches clearance.
Yeah,
Tire would drop, bale would hit it. Tire would drop, bale would hit it.
they'll hit it, yep, okay. All right,
And then 5, just want to let you know, so I met with, I've got 2 people on, I gave her a third name. Mary Ann printed up some maps with town-owned property, so I've set them off on a mission.
Okay.
They're going to try to see if there's anything that might be town-owned, that, if
Could
we
be
might be able
viable.
to do anything. There's a lot of ifs. The one thing, in speaking with them, though, is really New Hampshire, and Clean Energy New Hampshire is a group that they could lean to and work with, and they would help them, if we were a member, to write grants, and they could pursue grant money in this instance. So a one-year membership is $250. But it would give the flexibility and a lot more resources, I think, for them to pursue. And she's stayed in touch with me along the way. The next time they're ready, they're gonna look at some sites. But Mary Ann was able to index the town properties and give it to her, and they're off and running.
What have some of the other surrounding towns done for theirs?
So I also was able to find through the listserv, there was probably a dozen or more that have put out RFPs. So that's been shared. A lot of them have done it through a warrant article, but a lot of them have looked at grant money. It depends on how big the site is, and there's a lot of how
Like,
many.
I'll use Dunbarton because I've actually seen that one in place. I think they had an energy committee, I think that was formed,
This is, I
subcommittee.
mean, if you want to establish one, I've
No, but
got
I'm
3
just,
people.
I don't know if they actually put that, I don't know the process. I wonder if it's worth reaching out to the TA over there and ask.
I mean, I can ask her, sure. I worked with the one in Londonderry.
Okay.
Because they were the first ones to do it on the landfill. In Londonderry, and he sent me everything he had, which I've shared. I sent all sorts of RFPs over to see how everybody has done it.
Yep.
You know, there's lease agreements and everything else attached to it to see how you want to do it, but the connection's been made over at the Clean Energy New Hampshire, but our first order of business to be able to be part of and have that help is to be a member.
Right.
And I guess I don't know what anybody's thoughts are for joining so that they can have more people and stuff to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, I think for $250, it's a great investment.
Yeah,
I mean,
Especially if they're gonna help us write grants.
yeah, because it's pretty time consuming.
As long as it's reputable, yeah. I just don't want it to be some fly-by-night, say,
Well,
hey,
so
we're
let
gonna
me
come help
just,
you do
so
that.
next week I'm going to the New Hampshire Municipal Conference, and they're there, so I want to talk with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's,
So,
I just will wait,
table it for
but
a
I
week?
just wanted to let you know, I can bring more information back, you know, at
Yeah.
the next time, but that's roughly, they're excited,
yeah.
they're working together. And I don't know, maybe, I guess we'd have to double check the whole idea of creating an energy
Subcommittee or
subcommittee of the
whatever,
plan-
yeah.
of the selectmen.
Yeah.
You know, because they would be off talking, but coming back to meet with us to what they've found and what information and what we.
May not be a bad idea. I'm definitely.
Yeah, I
not
don't know if
expert
it
in any of
needs
that
a
stuff.
warrant article, I guess I can ask that,
Yeah.
to establish it.
Right.
Because I know the CIP has a subcommittee, and that is just a subcommittee of the planning board, but it was constructed of, you know, it had one from here, one from
Yeah.
there, so
Right.
I can check on that with Laura and see if she's heard of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
And if
think
it's not solar, it could be something else down the road.
Right.
the
Just
three
energy in
individuals-
general.
The 3 individuals she has involved are all go-getters. They're gonna come back to us with a real presentation.
Okay, that's good.
No, it sends out. There we go.
All right.
Nope, I finally got it, thank you, Janice.
So are you done, Naomi, now with yours?
I added number 6 just to say that the building inspector signed off on the PVDs.
Okay.
I called on both these roofs. I called on the stone building roof. I called Walker Roofing to see. I haven't heard back from them, and I also called Century, because that's who repaired the barn roof. And I called them last Thursday, and they haven't called me back either. So I'll call again this week.
Okay.
And try to get somebody motivated there. They're probably busy. They're probably trying to
Everybody
get
is
all
trying
the
to button up
roofs.
for the winter.
Yeah,
Right.
get stuff done,
Tied up.
yeah. And plus, they've probably got a list a mile long of people that they haven't even gotten to, so.
Probably.
So then the only thing I would ask you is that at the end, we can dive into the
Applications.
non-public. I don't have anything more.
All right. Correspondence, other business, other than that piece that we got for the email. I know we got that.
Yeah.
Which we kind of discussed already.
Which we kind of discussed already, right?
Right.
But I'm trying to think of anything else that we got in between.
Well,
We got an invite from the
Police
police
department.
lieutenant.
Yes. That's right, for their open house.
Yes.
That walkthrough, that's the 30th?
They have a public open house. I don't have the date in front of me. There's one just for the board members, and there's one specifically for
The public.
public.
I think the board was the 30th, I think.
It was
The
November
board is the
something.
30th, yeah, the general public one, I'm trying to find.
Earlier, I think.
After.
No,
Was it?
after, it's in December.
December 6th?
December 7th, Ware Police Department will be holding a
Walk and talk.
a walk and talk, as they call it, between, it doesn't say the hours.
Yeah, it did. It was in the evening.
Isn't he?
Well, it's in the evening, yes, but it doesn't say what time for, on December 7th, it just gives hours.
I'm sure it'll get tighter as the time
Yeah.
goes on.
Yeah.
But, all right, so December 6th for the public, for the walk and meet, and
November 30th for
30th
us,
for the board.
between 6:30 and 7:30 for us.
Okay.
Are we gonna go with-
That would need to be posted if if three of us are gonna be there.
I think, yeah, we need to post that for this meeting.
Yep.
What was our date?
November 30th, between 6:30 and 7:30?
Yeah.
6 to 7.
The public one is 5 to 7 p.m.
Is that what it is? Okay.
5 to 7.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the 30th, or do I need to post them both?
I'm planning on just going to one of them.
Yeah,
Because if 3 of you are gonna be there, I'm gonna,
yeah.
I will not be going to the public one.
No, I won't be
No,
going to the
just
public
go to
one.
the,
I won't be around.
so just to the June
The
30th?
30th.
Yeah, the
November
November
30th.
30th.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'll post it. Okay.
Ricky, I have one thing.
Yep.
So I've been advised by town council that this matter needs to be dealt with in a public forum and that it's my statutory duty. It involves a sitting board member, John Van. On the evening of October 20th, I was working directly with town administrator, and during that meeting, she received a phone call from John. I overheard the phone call where he stated, again, that he's not seeking another term, and that 2 other board members, whom he mentioned by name, would more than likely be leaving the board soon. Because of that, she would have a lot more work to do. He then encouraged Ms. Bolton to increase the amount of compensation she was seeking as part of her active employment contract negotiation. John then stated that he'd back her up. Ms. Bolton quickly dismissed John and ended the call. According to town council, this is, actions are a direct violation of fiduciary responsibility, and based on my responsibilities, I need to ask John if he would please recuse himself from any future negotiations regarding Ms. Bolton's employment contract.
So recused.
Okay? And this is a very awkward thing to have to do,
Okay.
to let you know. Whatever, circumstances were circumstances. Okay? Okay. I've done my statutory duty.
Okay. Any other business?
I just have a quick question. Naomi probably can answer it. Naomi, Helene Kirk got up tonight and asked, or stated that there was, the food pantry's only open one night a month?
It has been.
It has been.
Only
It
one
has
night
been.
a month?
But I was gonna say, and I'm pretty sure that if somebody called,
We've had people come during the day.
right,
We
they
go down
come
and
during the
help
day,
them.
and they're not gonna turn them away.
No, I know,
It's-
I'm not
yeah.
saying that. I was just curious. I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that was right. And the other thing is, how many people are coming actually to get food in the course of a month? Are we seeing 20 people, 30
No,
people?
you're not even seeing 20, probably seeing 12 or 15 at the most.
Yeah.
I would have thought
Maybe
there'd be
We
a lot
have,
more.
but, so we've helped people that have come in and needed it on the off, like, so it's on Wednesday, so tomorrow, Wednesday is the regular night.
This-
The following Wednesday, she's doing baskets, so there's gonna be 2 times for November, there'll be 2 times in December,
Yeah.
and there's 2 times in whatever month Easter is.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've helped a couple of single parents with young kids that we've just gone down and
Let her-
helped them out as much as
Yeah, you
here you
could.
go, you know what I mean? I don't wanna see anything happen. But that's how we've always done it, 'cause
Yeah.
I have a key, Mary Ann has a key that we can go down and bring the person. I'm not gonna ask them
Yeah.
to fill out paperwork, I'm just gonna feed them.
Yeah, I know when.
We're always ready to feed people, we're
Yeah.
still getting donations, we're still getting,
Right.
we graciously enough, for anyone that didn't know, everybody was always gracious enough to come forward with a turkey here and a turkey there. We always got, at the end of the American Legion Turkey Raffle, which is the 19th, they've always given us and donated the leftover ones. Melissa put something out on the Facebook, and TMS Diesel right here in town volunteered to buy all 40 turkeys and donate them. So we've got more than 40 because we've got people, but we've got roughly 40 baskets going out for Thanksgiving. But now the baskets are not, you don't see all those people, but it's that extra at the holiday time, and we do the whole thing, the fixings with the,
Yeah, I know
you know,
you do.
you've seen what we do,
Yeah.
and you've been gracious enough with squash. So we do the whole meal, and they, all they have to do is let us know how many they're feeding. We don't ask any questions. And they get a turkey, they get all the fixings for that many servings. But that's an extra over and above the monthly time that they can come.
Right.
And if they're cut short in a week, just, we've said to stop by, we're here 7 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can help, there's
That's kinda
always
what I wanna
somebody that
say,
can
yeah.
help.
Yeah, they're not getting turned away. per
So
se.
no one's
Yeah.
getting turned away, and if they are, we don't know about them.
Right.
You know, there's enough food downstairs that we have to go through shelves, and it's unfortunate that they're expiring. There's not that many people that and it's nice that the donations
Are there.
are there. And the donations that are at Country 3 helps us get the potatoes and the, you know, the onions and things like that for dinners that we would run out and have to do ourselves, but they order them with their stuff for us.
You still leave it on the cart at the bottom of the stairs, right? If you
Yeah,
have
and then she comes in and she'll empty it and she'll stock it, and a lot of times if it's in the way, if we go down to the ladies' room, I'll bring my keys and I'll lug it in so that it's not sitting out there in the way on the floor. So,
What's the date for the Thanksgiving baskets?
what's next? 16th.
The 16th? Okay, so I just want to make sure I go get the squash that's coming
Yeah,
right
so
for
the
you.
16th, she's gonna start doing those, but this Wednesday. And another thing, we have another lady that donated 40 $25 gift cards to go in with the basket in case you have special, if you're allergic to something or things like that, that we
The
can't
additional
provide
something or other,
generally.
yeah.
All right,
So there's so many donations that we, just, you know, we encourage, but she keeps a list of about 40, and if she hasn't heard from them, she reaches out to them.
Good.
And so we do it at Thanksgiving, we do it at Christmas, and we do it at Easter now. She's been doing hams for Easter.
Yeah.
So there's enough there, and I apologize if people don't think, if they need something, they can come here.
Right.
Right.
We don't ask you to fill out a form, we don't ask any questions, we're just looking to feed people. I don't want anybody going hungry.
No.
So that's my plea.
A good question though, Sherry, because that was a bold statement she made. Almost seemed like we were limiting people.
Right.
Yeah, I just
Very
wanted to
bold.
make sure. I didn't think that was the case, because
Yeah, you've been here before.
It's not.
I've been in here enough times, and I did bring an elderly lady in about 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago now, and she said, I don't have any food in the house, can you help me? And I went upstairs, and I think might have been a Tuesday, I'm not sure, Karen was still here, it was
Or
just
Karen
before
or
she
Beth.
left.
Yeah, we can help
Somebody, I
them.
think it was,
Yeah.
somebody came down, and I
And
went
Mary Ann
right
and
down.
Katie know how to do it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so,
It's actually awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100%, 100%. So,
We were open 4 days a week, and you get one this week, 2 that week, and it was just, she grouped it into one, and she talks to them all and says, do you need anything more? And we tried to, honestly, if you watched what we put in their cars, I mean, it's probably enough for a month, but it's because of the fact that we have so much, and I don't want it
That
going away,
expiration
because
stuff,
people
yeah.
have donated, so I don't want to get rid of it.
Right.
right.
So, I mean, if there's others that are out there and know of somebody, we don't ask any questions. If you need food, just let us know.
Is there anything we can put on our Facebook page?
Yeah.
The
I was
towns?
thinking that.
Just as a reminder?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah,
Because Melissa's they've got a Facebook page for the food pantry.
yeah,
She's got an email address, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're trying
yeah,
to,
put it out.
get it out there.
I'm wondering if you had even a sign to put out here, so when people come in to pay their taxes or register their vehicles or whatever, that, there's a couple of signs there, so in case somebody's
Yeah,
new
so
to
the
town.
schedule is all there, and it gives you the extra days for the extra baskets.
Right,
Yeah.
right in the front
Yeah.
hall.
You know, if we put it in the front hall, it's upstairs,
Yeah.
it's,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Good.
Thank you, Sherry.
Very good.
thank you.
Anything else, anybody?
Nope.
All right, then I'll move, we go in non-public under RSA 91A3, Roman rule 2, A and C.
See you
Good night.
tomorrow.
Night.
To discuss the
Open or closed?
applications?
Closed.
Closed.
Hang on.
Hold Moving, is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Thank you, Janice.